Well, now I'm going to ask you 5 questions apiece at $100 apiece, and if you answer them all in 15 seconds, okay? I want you to tell me the first thing that comes into your head, which will probably be a low-flying plane, and we'll see how it jives with our audience survey, okay?
Proceed, human, proceed.
Is that like go, man, go? All right. Name a famous explorer.
Zythron the Insistent.
The biggest holiday of the year.
The moons of Mizor.
A place you keep your valuables.
In a Muldroth ion field.
A mode of transportation.
The foam shoe.
Something you eat with eggs.
Fiberglass.
Okay, Delta. Very interesting. You're on quite a roll there, fella. No points, no money. Don't feel bad about it, though. We'll be back tomorrow, and you'll have another chance at the fast money.
Live from Garden Grove High School, just south of Anaheim, it's Saturday Night Dive.
Hi, everybody. I'm Zach Pruitt.
I'm Zach Hall.
We are in Game Show Battle Rooms in the Green Room, here to record another episode talking about Saturday Night Live. You are listening to us because we're brought to you by people that we love over at Four Finger Discount.
Four Finger Discount!
You can find us on social media at SatNightDivePod. You can email us SaturdayNightDivePod@gmail.com if you have any thoughts, questions, comments, concerned, icebreakers, hate mail, professions of love, anything like that. Send it our way.
I like that last one. Tell me more.
Professions of love.
Yeah.
You're not getting any of that from me, but I would love to get some of that from
yeah.
the listeners.
Okay, cool.
Zach Hall, it's been a second since we recorded. Tell me some things that you did.
This weekend I was working at a tournament, an A tier and Q series. So kind of a larger level tournament.
A tier and Q series?
So there's tiers of tournament.
A tier sounds good.
So there's XC, which is a whole different thing. It's
okay.
That means just like it's sanctioned, but it doesn't count. C, B, A, Elite, and Elite Plus.
And Q's above that?
Q series is a series of A tiers that are high level enough and at tough enough courses that they are drawing players that are really good.
Okay.
And so those players are trying to get their tour card, essentially. Trying to get enough points in the Q series to make it onto the tour.
Is it the letter Q or the word Q?
Q is in qualifying.
Okay.
Anyway, I wasn't playing. I was the tour announcer, the T announcer, and I was there with C2 Productions from YouTube. You guys have all seen them. I know that everybody's gone over there from when they're listening.
You should.
Yeah. We were filming this one. There was a gentleman in this tournament named Paul Oman. He's from Evansville, Indiana. He is the current MP40 world champion. He beat some real good players for that last year.
MP40. I want
So that means male professional 40. It's an age-protected division.
40 years
you
old.
have to be 40 years old to play. And then
Interesting.
You can be in your 50s or 60s and play in it, but you can't be under 40 and play in this division.
Okay.
So yeah, he's the current world champ for MP40. He played in this tournament. He's a real good guy. There was a lot of fun stuff that we did, and I was at an Airbnb next to a lake. We played some Quiplash last night.
Nice.
My eyes hurt from crying. I was laughing so hard.
I find as someone who is funny with my words that I don't always do the best in those games that go for like lowest common denominator. Are you a
smashed.
Quiplash champ?
I fucking smashed. I had a couple back-to-backs, and then I had another one in there somewhere. But the C2 crew is full of just
Hilarious people.
witty ass like Sharky and Alex Miles and James Miles and Tyler Fisher like all in a room together. It was, if we had Paulie Walnuts and Andrew Waddell, it would have been unreal. But you know, these things happen.
Paulie Walnuts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you got to do some disc golfery.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
It was pretty nice. It was real hot. And by the way, this course is the courses that they were playing impossibly tough to walk.
Yeah.
Very.
What does that mean?
Up and down the hills, in and out of brush, just in the wilderness.
That sounds awful.
It's great.
I bet you had a good time. Was the Airbnb nice? Fancy?
It was cool.
Big enough to toss some discs around outside?
We weren't doing any of that. Did some grilling, did some hot tubbing. Tubbing. It was so hot. Yeah.
Do you have plans to see the Odyssey?
I don't.
You don't really care?
I really don't.
But you're a pretty big movie guy.
I'm a movie guy.
I feel like you'll end up seeing it sometime, right? But you don't care enough to be like, I've got to go see it in IMAX.
Absolutely no.
When's the last time you went to a movie theater to see a movie?
When Marvel movies come out.
Lame.
No, we go all the time.
Because there's like 6 Marvel movies a year.
No, hasn't been. That era is way gone.
That's fair.
Yeah, we get 2 this year, and they're huge. Spider-Man, Brand New Day,
which is about to come out.
Yeah, that's this
the
month.
next time you'll be in the theater.
Correct.
Most likely. Okay. Well, Saturday Night Live, I've been reading that big book, Live from New York. If you haven't checked it out, it's such a great resource. I'm still in the beginning, but it's talking about the era that we're talking about. So to hear all of these quotes from, or to read all of these quotes from people like Gilda and John and Lorraine and Jane and Lauren and all of the producers and managers and crew, it's adding so much flavor. Just like when you were reading that other book, like certain things that I believed are just being cemented even further, and other things that I didn't know I should care about are being put in my brain. It's been a really satisfying read. So I'm excited to dive back into the episode.
That's cool. I'm glad that's
Live from New York. Check it out.
But you said you were listening to the first few hours of the Lauren biography, and then now you want to read it classic. Tell me why.
I haven't spent a lot of time listening to audiobooks. When I'm in the car, I like to listen to podcasts or music, but not that I couldn't listen to an audiobook, but it's not what I'm reaching for when I'm on a drive. So if I was going to listen to it that way, it would probably take me as long as it would to just read the book. And I like sitting down and reading a book, like with my coffee or like before bed. It'll take me a while to read it, but it would have either way. Why? Do you take umbrage are you against reading books?
At the moment, kind of. But yeah, and also umbrage is a great word. Thank you.
I put it down long enough that I felt the need, like if I pick it up, I'll just start it over and read through it.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's fun. I mean, actually, happy birthday to James Austin Johnson, but I enjoyed that as an icebreaker more than...
Oh, no, we can talk about James Austin Johnson. The last thing about audiobooks, and this is not to diss the person who is reading the audiobook. She was great.
Susan Morrison.
In my head...
Her Lauren voice was respectful, I felt like.
But in my head, when I'm reading it, I hear Lauren's voice. I hear Mike Myers' voice. I hear Dana Carvey's voice. I don't hear like a facsimile, pretty good audiobook voice of it. In my head, I hear these people talking.
I felt like she did a good enough job at differentiating the voices without being disrespectful.
I agree. I thought she was great.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about James a little bit because this podcast comes out tomorrow.
Wow.
And it's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Jaj.
Yeah, happy birthday, James Austin Johnson. He is an age years old. Congratulations. And he's a funny guy. Like, if you could ever get a chance to see him in stand-up, when this guy's not doing Trump, he's one of the funniest people on this show. And when he is doing Trump, it's just not fair because he does the voice better than anyone. He does the voice and the cadence, and the writing that they give him is usually pretty solid. So, like, it's not his fault that he gets shoehorned into this as often. And because this idiot just makes news all the time for whatever reason... God, I hate it. It sucks. But I love James Austin Johnson for his contributions to the show.
Oh, yeah. James's impression, I think, is so good because of how musical he is. He is genuinely musically gifted. He can sing and play guitar. And a voice like Trump and his cadence, it's musical. I mean, the way people talk is musical. And I'm sure he latches right onto that. Do you remember the fun thing James did with the Trump voice when we saw him?
Yeah, he said that when he warms it up, he tries to do it in an Australian voice.
He did the Trump voice in an Australian accent.
Yeah.
And however you're picturing it is how funny it was. Yeah. It was awesome. He's so talented. I would love to have a conversation with anybody that's been on the show, but James would be near the top of my list of current people because day one of the show, he's Biden and Trump.
Yeah.
And he's in so much of it. And that gives you so much exposure to become a star player immediately. Now we're 6 years past that. And I'm sure he hates it, or I'm sure it can be a crutch to have to be fucking Donald Trump in the makeup and to see yourself and to talk that way and to put yourself into that guy's brain. I'm sure it gets old after a while. So what's where does the sword of Damocles fall on? It's the reason I'm one of the biggest names on the show. I wish I didn't have to listen to Trump speak ever again. I wonder.
Sure. I also wonder why they don't put him in more stuff when he's not Trump. He's great. He crushes almost everything.
One other memory from this past season was that song, like Words of Wisdom song.
When they were the Words of Wisdom song was a fun, because that's a pre-tape, right?
Yeah, and it was just very James.
It was super James. But they also did a crazy funny sketch where he was like I want to say like a church organist or something.
Oh, yeah.
Like at a contemporary church.
Yeah.
And he was doing like the back and forth with the pastor.
Oh, that was on Weekend Update.
Yeah, so good.
Pastor Update.
Yeah.
And yeah, everything James, and he had that like vacancy behind his eyes as he like answers all the questions as the white dude who can play the bass in the black church.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
Anyway, James, we love you. Please talk to us. I won't drill you. I'll ask you nice questions. We love you.
I will ask you terribly hard questions.
Okay, that was a good icebreaker. I love Judge. We love him.
We do.
Wait, we should mention Chloe Fineman is leaving Saturday Night Live.
Yeah,
that's the first announcement of the postseason preseason.
That's what we got.
Give me a couple thoughts. I know your thoughts. I saw the GIF you sent me, but tell the viewers what was your reaction to seeing Chloe leaving the show?
Oh no. Anyway, Chloe is good at impressions.
She's talented.
Yeah, she
Can't deny.
can do some really fun impressions, and I think she nails them hard. It's probably more about in between scene stuff that gets me about Chloe that I'm just like, no, okay. If she's leaving the show, you know what? Ashley will carry on.
I've heard other podcasters, so this isn't an original thought, say that like it kind of felt like Chloe had this like senioritis where she was starting to be more giggly and breaky in sketches that didn't need it, and it kind of felt like it was getting in the way. And yeah, it felt like time for her to move on for sure.
She had done a lot of good things, and I feel like, yeah, if you stay longer now, it's about what you were talking about earlier with a certain musician, where like if you just keep putting stuff out, you're gonna eventually put out some bad stuff too.
Absolutely. Now, the show loses, and as amazing as Ashley is, we haven't seen her done as many direct impressions on the show. When she does the political impressions, it's really more Ashley as those characters than losing herself in a role like Jennifer Coolidge or Melania Trump or countless of voices that Chloe did. And while Chloe isn't exactly my favorite off-camera personality and definitely has highs and lows on camera for me, I do think the show is missing a huge cornerstone, which is a female impressionist, and they need to hire another woman, specifically a female impressionist, on top of at least one woman of color, if that's not the same person. I think Chloe leaving does create a hole as much as it is time.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
But I trust the show. I'm sure they'll hire more people.
Trust the process.
Who do you think is going to be next on the chopping block? If you had to pick right now, who is the next name we're going to see not coming back for season 52?
Cam.
Yeah. I'm going to go a different way and say...
Or Tommy.
If we get an announcement, I'm going to think it's going to be one of the heavy hitters because...
Oh, really?
Because Chloe was like a negotiation. I feel like at the end of the season, we'll get also Cam, Tommy, Ben, whoever else is...
Right.
The season is complete. Now we know who else isn't coming.
Right.
So I would say maybe...
You're saying another big name.
Maybe Andrew? Maybe...
He's been getting phased out a little, it seems.
Mikey?
I hope not.
Maybe Sarah?
Mikey, I would understand.
Yeah.
I don't want to say this out loud, but Keenan, I would understand. But not just because of anything about him. I think
there's nothing left to prove.
He's got nothing left to prove.
Time and time over.
And also, I think he's got like another show going on too and other stuff. So like, I would never want to see him go. I think he should stay as long as he can. But
again, another non-original thought. I think the good thing about having Keenan around is when you're new and it's your first day at SNL and fucking Kenan Thompson puts his arm around you and is like, we're going to work on this thing together. And he's like, I got you. Or like someone like Colin and Michael probably do the same thing. I think that's what's important is that Kenan is the old guard.
Think about the number of cast members that he has seen come and go.
It's insane.
Right. So like he can put you on a path. He can just like take his arm around you and say like, you know what? You remind me of this guy.
Yeah.
And this guy's path started here.
And hearing Kenan tell you like, just pulling out a random name. He's like, I remember working with Chris Parnell. You remind me of Chris Parnell, and getting a compliment like that from a legend like that.
Right.
Huge. Crazy. Anyway, great icebreakers. We had a lot of stuff to talk about there. Unless you have any final thoughts, I would love to get into this episode.
Yeah, let's do it. A little background on the episode. It aired on January 21st, 1978. Also on that night, CBS aired The Bob Newhart Show, Annie Flynn, The Jeffersons, The Tony Randall Show, and Kojak. ABC aired What's Happening, Operation Petticoat, and The Love Boat.
Nice.
Our home network, NBC, aired The Bionic Woman and the TV movie Standing Tall. The number one film at the box office was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. All right, Steve, way to go.
Been out for a while, but this is the first time we've seen it on the list.
Way to go. The number one album on the Billboard chart was the soundtrack to the Saturday Night Fever by the Bee Gees and others.
One of the most iconic film soundtracks of all time. That record and that movie was huge.
Broke open a whole world for soundtracks to be a thing.
And I don't think anybody really cares about Saturday Night Fever anymore. Do you find that to still be like a film buff movie? Does it come up in conversation much unless you're already talking about John Travolta?
I mean, me and all my other film buff friends.
Yeah. Talking about Saturday Night Fever all day. When I pitched this podcast to Zach, that's what he thought we were going to be talking about every week. He thought we were going to be taking Saturday Night Fever scene by scene.
Yeah. So when we didn't, you can imagine what I did, which was give you the confused Travolta gif.
Nice. I wrote down a couple other fun facts for this episode that I saw that I didn't know where else to put. This was the first episode for Bill's brother, Brian Doyle Murray. Is that his brother?
Brian Doyle Murray.
And Don Novello, another iconic writer. This is their first episode. And then Steve Martin and the Dirt Band had connections outside of this episode, outside of SNL, as a band called the Toot Uncommons, which is hilarious. And they would back up Steve Martin on the studio recording of King Tut. And then we got an episode to break into, starting with a disclaimer. So the disclaimer is a funny joke, and it's a funny picture joke.
Yes, it is.
And the only reason that it's touchy is because it is a transgender celebrity's name pre-transition. That's not the SNL writer's fault. There's nothing wrong with this joke.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I don't know how to read it to you,
In
audience.
1978, this was just a guy named Bruce.
Yeah.
So...
Yep, Bruce Willis. That's who we're talking about. Bruce Willis wins the javelin catch, will not be seen tonight, and it's a picture joke of Olympian Bruce Willis being stabbed through the chest with the.
Are you scared of getting sued or something? It's Bruce Jenner, bro.
Okay, I'm too lib coded to dead name people.
It was in 1970. We're talking about a different time.
I understand. I'm not mad at you. We don't need to open this can of worms.
That's not her name anymore.
But
Fine. But
in 2026, I'm not gonna like say the person's name even if it was then, and that's what I'm talking about. I'll call them Caitlin.
Wow.
That's okay. I thought this was a funny picture joke.
Then we got it was a funny picture joke.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It took me
It
almost
was very quick, and it's what they've been doing at the beginning of most of these episodes now.
I like it.
Kind of fun.
Cold open.
State of the Union, 78. Jimmy Carter, played by Dan Aykroyd, speaks on the current state of the country to a distracted audience.
This year, our country will have the first $2 trillion economy in the history of the world. What do I mean by that? I mean 1,000 million is a billion and 1,000 billion is a trillion. 2 trillion is $2,000 billion, and I believe that's a lot of money.
This feels like such a classic cold open setup because anytime we get a big speech from the president like that, you know the SNL is going to cover it the next weekend to the point where it's so outdone and overused. This was one of the first times. What did you feel about this?
I kind of liked the way that they cut it with pre-tape stuff and then overlaid it with live stuff. Like that they didn't rely on a lot of sets and stuff like that. Like
no extras.
Yeah, and it was quick. And the stuff that Bill and John were doing in the back was super fun, the background bits, because Danny wasn't really telling too many jokes. He was just kind of doing it straight for the most part.
It was, if you listen to what he's saying, it's convoluted on purpose.
Yeah.
And it is kind of funny, but everybody knows you're just like the real State of the Union.
Yeah.
You're going to kind of forget what the president's talking about, and you're looking at who's yawning in the background.
For sure.
John and Bill playing rock, paper, scissors,
Yeah.
which we're not supposed to do to break ties anymore.
What?
In game show battle rooms.
Oh, yeah, we're not.
That's just a reference for nobody but you.
We're not.
I love that they use the pre-taped B-roll of real people, and I like that they're using the SNL thing of audience member captions on people sitting in the real speech watching the State of the Union. So you have people that are sleepy, people like someone's a senator from Mars. They're all very SNL written captions, and I like that.
The 12 inches one was not properly timed, but it was still funny.
Oh, I thought it was super clever because I guess
it didn't overlay over a human. It was just in the middle of nothing.
Maybe I'm giving them too much credit, but they show a picture of not a ton of snow outside with the 12 inches thing. So I was thinking it was like a overcompensating for size like joke. It's like, you think this is 12 inches kind of thing?
It could be.
Maybe I'm giving it too much credit.
I just like the side stuff they were using as comedy here. It was kind of fun. It was a good cold open.
And that's the whole sketch,
a
right?
lazy opening line.
I don't hate the opening line.
You have been lately.
Not so much because I think it's clever or classic, but just because it's like the end of his speech and it felt like a natural conclusion. I didn't think it was awesome or hilarious. The other thing I wanted out of this sketch was I would love to get a T-shirt that says "Young and Disadvantaged." I think I could rock that.
That's fun.
Yeah, a good cold open, not hilarious, but probably historically important because it's one of our first presidential speech cold opens, which is now fucking every week.
Yep, sure is.
After that, the opening montage.
It's a montage.
Don Pardo is getting closer and closer to the classic Saturday Night Live. It sounds more and more like it every time.
He's dialing it in.
And how do you think the Dirt Band fares for the Hall of Fame of good names on the band? Like we've had Brick.
I love it.
Who are some of the other good ones?
Stuff.
It's not Stuff level, but it's like lower tier band name Hall of Fame.
Well, the Dirt Band is also known as the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Yes.
So good name both ways.
And still performing. We'll talk about them later. Our host monologue is what we'll get into next. Our host is the returning Steve Martin. He's now 32 years old. It's crazy how young all of these people are. He's a comedian, actor, writer, producer, and magician. Did you add that?
Yeah.
From Waco, Texas. This is his 4th time hosting SNL. Did he do work as a magician?
His first job was at Disneyland. And in his like spare time, he would spend like I guess when he wasn't working or in his breaks, he would spend time in the magic shop at Disneyland and he would start performing tricks for customers.
Everything I learn about Steve Martin kind of just makes me like him more, if I'm being honest. This is his 4th time hosting the show, 1978, because this is the first episode of 1978. We're in a new year. And this year, Steve starred in his first network special on NBC. It's called Steve Martin, A Wild and Crazy Guy, going off the success of his SNL appearances, as well as appearing in films and many TV shows like panel shows. Today, Steve Martin, the great, he's 80 years old. And this monologue, you know what you're going to get. It's his 4th time on the show, and he's a stand-up comedian. He's going to do some of his stand-up. He's going to flail wildly. He's going to perform some really vaudevillian punchlines as well as he can. Yeah. He's going to blame John Belushi for stealing his $50. He complains about his private life and explains how to get $1 million.
So his opening thing, like he comes out, does his stupid white guy pointing everywhere dance and then flails. And I don't care about like the big, like, like that. That's like the opposite of funny to me. But then he steps up to the mic and I've got music. I've got rhythm. Fucking brilliant joke. Like, what a great opener.
They all
that's so funny.
Steve
dude.
is such a animal from the Muppets, like Tasmanian Devil back in these days. That is it funny that he's flailing around like on principle? No, not really. But it's like he can't be stopped. And I know that he is such a talented performer that every single thing he's doing, like Andy Kaufman, he's like pre-planned all of these bits.
Sure.
But it feels like it's exploding out of him, and it just makes me smile every single time.
That was such a fucking great opening joke.
He's so fake. I love the Steve Martin as pompous asshole character. When they'll be clapping for him, he'll be like, "Oh, me? No. But there's no real, oh, come on, I don't deserve that. It's like, I deserve that.
Yeah.
Me? Yes, of course I do."
I actually understand the Randy Newman is only this big joke now that I know what Randy sings.
Short people.
Yeah.
And Steve is the king of Let's Get Small. You know, that was one of his albums. So there's a lot of short people stuff going on today. He mentions that because of the snowstorm, he says they didn't rehearse at all. Do you think they might have rehearsed less this week because of the snowstorm? Do you think maybe that's why we have more music?
Less, yes. None. I don't think that's true.
That's got to be impossible.
Yeah. Lauren would never let it fly.
What did you think about the $50 bit?
It's a bit of a boomer bit, but I don't actually hate it. It was kind of funny.
Hey, wait a minute. I had $50 in here. And it's gone. Wait a minute, I had the 50, this was my New York money, and it's, when I had it back in the dressing room, John Belushi was back there, I went back to the, John Belushi stole my $50. I had it right here, this was my money for, I can't believe this, that he would actually steal $50. Where is he? Where, this bothers me, I'm sorry, just hold it, just for, you stole my $50. I'm sorry. No, hold it. No, this kind of bugs me. You were in my dressing room. I went to make up. These pants were in here, and this was where the $50 was. So you stole it. I'm sorry. Now get out of here. Go on. No, I'm sorry. That just bothers me. No, I mean, that bothers me. I mean, I know I had the $50 in here because I never put my money in this pot. Okay.
It's the delivery.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen immediately. But John being a shifty enough character that I'm like willing to put blame on him, and the way that Steve does the $50, you still, and the way he keeps saying, I'm sorry, I'm really bothered by this. Like, of course you're bothered by it. He's still money.
He never mentions the second pocket until the punchline, until like the second before the punchline.
And I know it's not here because I never put it in. Okay. That the reveal that we've seen coming from a mile away, even though you're right, he doesn't say the pocket until he does it.
Right.
And then his just dropping it because he's not willing to admit that he's wrong. And like, okay, that was classic.
The whole complaining about his private life and then saying, so what if I have a thing on my weenie? That joke was a bomb.
I don't know if I'd call it a bomb, but it wasn't huge.
It was awful.
But then he does weird nothing bits like, oh no, I've spilled water.
So I think the water was supposed to be leading into the electrocution bit because he's standing in water and grabbing the microphone. But also, it just comes out of nowhere.
It feels like that.
This is the type of shit I'm talking about that I think is like anti-con. Like I think I might be upset at Steve Martin for
because he's rage baiting
because he's the crux of boomer humor. Like when all boomers are like, when they think about what's funny, when they're going to think about is like Steve Martin, like he's like the peak comedy, and like this was like peak Steve Martin, 32 years old, hosting SNL for the fourth time. Like this is what all of those like older Gen X and like younger boomers think is the funniest thing on earth, and this type of shit's not funny at all.
And you're also here, just like some of this, like whenever I get on my woke nonsense, like we're weighted by 40 years of hearing the worst people you know do facsimiles of this humor.
Yeah, for sure.
So by the time sometimes we get to this original stuff and we're like, oh, now I get why people thought this was funny. Other times you've heard people say, excuse me, 1,000 times, that when he gets to his obligatory one at the end of this, I want him to be past that where he could just like tell me a punchline and not just have to do catchphrase comedy.
The millionaire tax thing took way, way too long to set up, and that excuse me was not a payoff.
And the I forgot thing, I agree with you.
It was not enough to cover this grandpa shit.
I'm glad you brought up Andy Kaufman though, because I do feel like Andy and Steve. You said Andy Kaufman a moment ago.
You said Andy Kaufman.
But you also said Andy Kaufman. I'm positive.
I agreed with you.
Anyway. So speaking of what I was speaking about anyway, I do feel like Steve Martin and Andy Kaufman, watching them, the experience is very different, but what they're doing at the heart of it, I do think is pretty close to each other. And I think they are both sides of this like genius on another level. I think Steve is that kind of genius.
Okay.
What's next?
Well, I won't yell at you for it, but I'm going to give you a look.
Okay.
Then we get a pre-tape. It's back. Yes. It's Swill, folks. A man. It's Bill Murray. He shills for Swill, the mineral water with everything you always wanted and more.
I let out a very nerdy yes when this came up.
I did too. I was like, it's back.
I think it's even better when you know what's coming. Like everything leading up to the reveal is so much funnier when you know it's all leading up. It's all making you feel kind of unsettled before the big reveal. The ketchup is still hilarious.
God,
this
the
time,
ketchup's so watery.
The line that, watery.
It just plops right up. So bad.
I didn't even think of it from that. I just thought the ketchup was like a funny non sequitur, but
the ketchup is
to
so
show
watery.
You like this is what you expect water to run like.
Yeah,
and then Swill, the water is a gelatinous.
Yeah, that's
blob.
what you expect ketchup to run like.
Maybe like even thicker than that, like honey or like something. Yeah, this was so funny. The line "Swill is low in calories" made me laugh this time because it shouldn't have any calories. It's water.
It's pretty good.
We love Swill.
We like Swill. And then we get a live sketch.
Park Ranger. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's Park Ranger McConnell, played by Steve Martin, enters a married couple's, played by John Belushi and Gilda Radner, cabin to ask where he could find Bigfoot. Damn it.
You liked it.
I love this sketch. It's too long, but it's still, they didn't need to hammer it so hard, but I love it.
This one was okay. There are a lot of little things I like about it, like the all the way from Moose Creek to Otter Valley repetition that doesn't really add anything, but is just a funny thing to keep saying. Do you not remember that?
I kind of do, but like
they say it like 3 or 4 times at the start.
It is
like,
funny that he repeats
this all the way from Moose Valley to all about Otter Canyon.
Yeah,
or Otter Valley. That's a pretty funny. This is a one joke sketch.
It is,
and they tell that joke a bunch of times.
And they hammer the fuck out of it,
and it's really long.
Yeah.
And
that's my only critique of it.
the Bigfoot thing is funny the first time, but then for the rest of it, to me, no pun intended, the Bigfoot is just kind of big funny, like in the way that you describe it.
Right.
I don't think it's bad. I think it would have been funnier if it was quick, or maybe it would be funnier if Steve, his character, as soon as he plops up the big feet, if he knows exactly what's going on here and still manages to get confused and shoot him with the tranquilizer dart.
Right.
I also don't like how John, they don't write him having been hit by a tranquilizer well at all.
Oh.
He walks into the room after being hit when he like looks like Bigfoot out there and he gets shot with the tranquilizer dart. He walks in, he's like, oh, I'm awful sleepy. He's not like, I got shot by anything. And then he doesn't fall asleep or act woozy. He's in the rest of the sketch because he has to prop his legs up on the table at the very end.
Yes.
There was just some weird, I don't know, half-baked stuff going on here. I'm glad you liked it. What did you like about it?
I liked that the audience kept it super chill and quiet until he threw his feet up on the table for the first time. Because without that, then it would have kind of lost the love of it.
I wonder. I know throughout its history, there have been times where SNL will use things like properly placed curtains to cover big visual gags.
They did with Gilda. Like she had the blanket she was knitting, covered her feet. But I didn't see what I don't know if they
I don't think we'd be able to see on TV. I'm saying that like if his feet are huge and they're doing the set, we can't see it on screen, but there might be like a black scrim being held by crew people to cover it until it's time for that reveal.
I see.
Because I think that's the only way you get a natural reaction like that out of a live audience. You can't tell them like, hey, wait to laugh you're going to laugh as soon as you see it.
Right.
And I do think that was good. Holding on to the reveal made it good.
Yeah. I just think the timing is everything. We still don't know where that mysterious creature is. And I
guess we'll never solve it.
Yeah. I do think that you were talking about the little things in this, like the extra time that Steve took to bash out the second window pane.
Oh, yeah.
Which was completely useless, was so funny.
It was very funny.
Like, those are the type of little choices that people make that I'm like, okay.
That people like Steve make that make everything a little bit better and zanier just because he's in it.
Yes, because making people laugh isn't always about like the punchline or about like the biggest thing that you're doing. Like, that small choice was what made me like the sketch almost the most. I was just like,
okay.
It was the choice of the timing of letting him throw his feet up on the table, and then just the littlest things are what make me think you're funny.
I do like those moments. This was like a 6 out of 10 for me. It was fine.
Okay.
After that, we're gonna have a bumper coming up next. Can Nielsen families intermarry?
Do you want to explain Nielsen families?
Well, as a TV nerd, I felt very gratified by this joke. Nielsen families have always been kind of useless. Basically, they're chosen families in certain communities and certain homes that keep written logs of all the television that they're watching.
I think later there's an electronic box.
I'm sure. They have a box. They have probably an app now because this is still a thing. And the Nielsen families send in what they're watching. That's put through a whole bunch of like a whole algorithm, and that leads to the quote unquote Nielsen ratings, which were for the longest time before streaming and online kind of made it obsolete. That was how networks decided if shows were successful or not, by the Nielsen ratings, and shows with low Nielsen ratings got canceled. Shows with high Nielsen ratings would get renewed. But as the internet age showed us, like early Twitter, there would be these, like a show like Community that I love so much. It was so popular, had such an intense online fan base, but the Nielsen ratings didn't speak to that, and the network was confused to know how to do anything with it.
Can I tell you why?
Why?
I mean, you know why, but
Tell me why. Get in.
Because the Nielsen families, the way they were selected, it's a demographical thing.
The white people?
I mean,
families with like a son and a daughter.
It can be like, but whatever. The fucking Arrested Developments of the world and the Communities, the shows that had these massive fan followings
You
that
watched by like college students.
Yeah, that
single people.
They had some numbers that if a different show had those numbers, it would have still been okay. But the person in charge, the executive, doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Like it's not their type of humor.
Yeah.
Like they can make sure that these Nielsen families are people like them.
Nielsen ratings, and Nielsen has been so frustrating to television fans since the 1970s and before. And thank God that now all the shows on broadcast TV are getting very low Nielsen ratings because television has moved past the original broadcast structure. And thank God that we don't really have to worry about it anymore. And shows that get 3 million viewers versus shows that back in the day would get like 30 million viewers still have a fighting chance. But what about them intermarrying? Do you think they can? Or is that like a conflict of interest? Or does it make it easier for Nielsen if they just stick together?
Yeah, that's those are the questions.
More on that after this.
Asking the real
on
ones.
Weekend Update.
On Weekend Up. Woo!
Okay.
What's next?
A live sketch. It's the Festrunk brothers, a pair of Czechoslovakian brothers who ran from the tanks. Jorga, played by Steve Martin, and Yortuk Festrunk, played by Dan Aykroyd, wait for girls, or should I say foxes, that they met online.
Here is something I can tell you. 2 swinging foxes are coming to our pad tonight.
Foxes coming here tonight? Who told you that?
Forget about it. Today in America, all the most swinging people use computers to find others who will have sex with them. I have done this now.
Computers to find foxes? Let me know about it.
Stay here and I'll tell you. I put our names, Jortak and Horg Frestrunk, on cards for the computer. I told them that we have many swinging hobbies and we enjoy great deal many interests like meeting girls and being next to their big American breasts.
Hey, who's to know?
Yes, you heard us right. We're talking about online dating in 1978.
That was a real, what year is it right now moment?
I was like, what do you
What
mean
does
on
that computer even look like?
Yeah, and what's
Probably
it
takes up a
connected
whole
to?
room. I was excited as soon as I see Steve like stammer in and sauntering in. This was diminishing returns for me the second time.
Here's something I can tell you.
Please.
Catchphrase comedy doesn't work for me here.
Ever or here?
Here. Yeah.
I don't love catchphrase comedy. It's going to be a big part of covering the show. Sometimes it works. Like, it's always something. That's probably going to work more often than it doesn't. Or a bitch and or good night and have a pleasant tomorrow, or fucking live from New York, it's Saturday night.
Right.
There are ones that don't work for me. I remember when I was a kid, when I was a child, I thought I didn't like Kristen Wiig because I didn't think Gilly was funny at all. And the Thari was so annoying and confounding and unfunny to me. Now I'm an adult with taste, and I've seen so much else of what Kristen Wiig brought to the table that I adore her, as anybody should that loves this show, but I still don't really love Gilly. Do you like Gilly? Do you love Gilly?
I do like Gilly.
Maybe I'll feel differently as an adult.
I like Gilly a lot.
That's not the point right now. Whatever. There are things I like about this, and it's never the catchphrases. I do kind of like the broken English. I do kind of like the responses that don't fit to what they're talking about. Him trying to play Guess Who with his brother and saying, hey, here is something. Like, that gets a laugh out of me. I think it's funny. It is a little bit like xenophobic. It is a little bit outdated. I think it would have worked if they said wild and crazy guy once.
Sure.
The first time he says it.
Sure.
Or at the end when they're 3 wild and crazy guys.
Right.
But in this sketch, every time they like pause for the audience to react after they say the thing, it was painful. It was awkward. There's like watching Dan like continuing to like bob around.
Yeah, the flailing, I don't understand the flailing. The flailing doesn't do it for me.
Well, I know that this didn't work for you as much. Were there things that you liked about this? Were there parts that made you laugh? It's pretty long.
I like Cliff, their swinging American buddy that lives next door.
Who gets How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Lorraine and Jane.
Yeah, he almost gets SA'd by these Croatian cuties, but...
I don't think almost. I think...
Oh, he's straight up getting SA'd right there?
I think it happens. Croatian cutie. There is a lot of humor in Jane and Lorraine being the female equivalent of the Festrunk brothers from a different country, and them being so turned off by that as soon as they start talking, just like any American foxes will be just as turned off by them and the way that they act and behave. I like Jane doing the like hands. I feel like they could have shortened this and made it just a sketch about them going on a date with these girls, and it would have been pretty funny. And instead, it's long. They keep going back to the catchphrases.
And they brought Belushi in for whatever reason. I like Lorraine as this curly-haired Croatian who drinks many Pepsis.
You're going to take us out for dinner and order us many Pepsis. And I like the Jane's doing that stuff with their hands.
Jane's wearing fake boobs.
they get really racist with Garrett.
They do.
Which is probably a joke on the type of people they're trying to parody, but it still left me pretty uncomfortable.
It's what they do.
There's a line where one of the ladies says something about like this black man is going to be much better for us to swing with. Like, I don't know. John was pretty useless, but it's oddly funny that he's comfortable coming in here and just watching his nieces fuck.
Yeah.
He's down to just watch them swang.
It's weird. I don't know.
Yeah.
These Wild and Crazy Guy sketches were never going to be my bag.
I'm not ready to write them off yet because I do find the interplay between Dan and Steve funny. I find the broken English and the bad responses funny, but I do think they're going to go heavier on the catchphrase every time we see it. So we'll see.
Yikers.
Is this era's like Roxbury guys?
A little. I mean, we got these two, and then we got the Pump You Up guys.
Yeah.
And then Rocks. Well, I mean,
It's like a marriage of those.
kind of. Yeah. And then like Wayne and Garth, I think kind of count, don't they?
I suppose.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah, because of the way that they talk about women, for sure. Okay. Again, I would probably give this also, if the last one's 6 out of 10, this one's probably hovering around 5 or 6 out of 10 for me as well.
Okay.
What's after that?
It's a bumper. Does a UFO have an identity crisis? To me, it would have been funnier if it does a UFO have an ID crisis. Because it's another.
Or like, can a UFO identify itself?
More acronyms. Yeah. I don't know. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dirt Band performs On the Loose with the Blues. Our musical guest is the Dirt Band, now known as the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, a band founded in Long Beach, California in 1966. They performed the song On the Loose with the Blues from their 1978 album, The Dirt Band.
Which band name do you like better?
I like that I think if it were officially the original name was the Dirt Band, but they colloquially go by Nitty Gritty Dirt Band.
Fans know them as.
Yeah, like I think that's kind of cool to have both.
I kind of like the Dirt Band better. It's cleaner.
It's cleaner.
I wonder if this is
The dirt's cleaner.
like a franchisee type. I wonder when and why. I didn't Google this. I wonder when and why they changed their name and if there was like a disagreement
I got their
or
Wikipedia
something.
pulled up and I was trying to figure that out, but
It just kind of came along after a while.
I don't know. All it says is like also known as.
We got another reference from Steve as he's interviewing the band about getting small because he knew the band back since they were all getting small. And I was wondering how much of this is because Steve likes to joke about getting small or how much of this is because of short people later on.
Another great question.
But she never let you see no pain. Says she'll take the sunshine with the rain. Lonely eyes, they show what she's been through. On the loose with the blues. Shouldn't be this way. She's had far too many cloudy days. And I really hope that she can last. Been hit life a little fast. Well, the maid is paying too many dues on the loose with the blues.
This song is dope.
I think I knew it. Did you recognize it?
I didn't really know.
I think I had heard this song before and I enjoyed it too. It is dope.
The intro building layer by layer is really fun. The fiddle and the harmonica are
Yeah.
tasteful and they don't dominate the sound like they sometimes can. Like the fiddle and the harmonica are like rosewater and peanut butter. Like if you put those two things, if you put either of those two things in a
Delightful.
recipe, you
Not together.
taste nothing else.
Yeah.
You won't taste
Rose water.
You won't
What a
taste
pull.
anything.
Yeah. Are you cooking with rose water a
No,
lot?
I fucking watch the Great British Bake Off all the time.
Sure.
If
Okay.
you are going to use rose anything in Great British Bake Off, you better use like enough to fit on the head of a pin and no more, because Paul's going to taste it and he's going to knock you for it for sure.
I'm sure there are exceptions to this, but I feel like I knew the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band wasn't fucking around when I saw how many guitars they had on stage. And not just the ones that are being held, the ones that are on their stands. There's like 6 to 8 guitars on that stage. You know that this is an instrumentalists band, that these people, and the lead singer in this song, like he has a buttery smooth voice. He
does.
But
And a cool stash.
The instrumentals in this are incredible.
I do not like what this harmonica player is doing with his hips during
I
his
took a note.
solos.
I referred to it as a cunty little hip shake.
That is, the gyrating is so gratuitous. It's fucking, the thrusting is so out of place.
Then when you listen to how good, like he's doing that,
He's killing it.
I didn't know how to describe it as other than that noise when you're breathing in through the harmonica. It's got this like chugga train kind of sound.
That's a good way to describe it.
He's doing that and like shaking his cunty hips, and the fiddle player is also like adding to the chugga. And there's the point when, I'm glad you like that. I was proud of myself. When the rest of the band drops out and it's just the two of them playing and he's shaking his hips, I'm like, dude, you're crushing it. If he sucked, if this song sucked, I wouldn't be for it. But when he's that good, he can do whatever he wants.
I liked that, especially that second solo was kind of the outro. I liked the sounds, but I was like, stop fucking doing that, dude. That's awful. This is
once you notice it, it's impossible not to watch it the rest of the time.
It's a nice kind of softish Americana type rock. Like it's done pretty well. The song's got a great dynamic.
More of a roots base.
More of a roots base, more Americana. It builds slow, it gets kind of big, and then it backs away off, and then it slowly builds it back one more time on the way out. Such a good song.
Dude. And again, an instrumentalist band, the math of music and building a song, you're right, I took the same note. The way that it builds and comes back and builds again is just...
It's great.
It just hits. It scratches your brain in the right way. Pretty dang good dirt band.
Speaking of pretty dang good, up next, it's a live sketch. It's Body Floss. A spokesperson, Steve Martin, speaks. Did you hear that? Steve Martin, not Dan Aykroyd.
I know.
Speaks for the floss that nobody is really clean without.
Steve isn't as good of a spokesman as Dan Aykroyd is.
He's not.
This might have even been a little bit better with Dan selling it with his big smile and big eyes. But this is a really funny bit.
Yeah, it's a great, fun live commercial bit because we usually get pre-tapes for shit like this.
That's true.
Yeah.
So when they first open on this, did you think it was a stick of butter? I thought it was a stick of butter.
I didn't think it was a stick of butter.
You thought it was soap from the beginning?
I thought it was soap, yeah.
I thought for
Butter's
sure
not
it was
green,
a stick
bro.
of butter. I saw it as, because it's like kind of bad television tape quality, I saw it as like yellowish. Maybe I need to get my eyes checked.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is a really silly idea. And using Spanish Flea as the background music and having everyone like oddly sexually like flossing themselves and then
kind of not though, like it's a silly
each
visual
other with the floss.
They didn't go raunchy with it.
No,
like it's a silly visual, but they didn't really go raunchy with it like the harmonica player would have. Jesus.
Yeah. You know that guy. He can floss his whole body just by moving his hips.
Exactly.
He doesn't need to use his hands.
You hold the floss, he'll take care of the rest of it. Steve subtly pulling it out of the front of his pants was as raunchy as it went to me, and it was perfect. It was very subtle.
Just the reveal of, we're talking about body floss, like they have the audience primed. We're ready to hear whatever the stupid thing is. And then the thing is exactly as stupid as it needs to be, revealed at the right moment.
It's like exercising while you're getting clean, only better.
It enlarges particles before they can become dirt.
Yeah, the Swedes have been doing it for years.
You see, the outside of your skin, the epithelial layer, traps dirt. Only body floss can gently free the epithelia.
It's so stupid. It's so corporate commercial speak, kind of like Triple Track or some of those other commercials.
The marketing is so like unbelievably lowbrow.
And then them going down the line in the bathroom and having that's what I like about it. Ending with Garrett being like the minty fresh flavor. That's what I like about it. That's when it gets like not raunchy, but I think when the camera turns off, they're all going to fuck each other.
Just inappropriate enough. You love to see it.
And then ending with a big awkward pause of Steve like smiling at the camera, waiting for them to tell him that he's off air. That must be, as a performer, I just hate it.
I never liked it.
I hate it.
The end of a scene or the end of a play or whatever.
Waiting for the lights to come down.
And it's like, come on, tech. We have practiced this all fucking week. Will you just hit the lights?
Worst thing for me ever on stage, a scene between me and another person that needed to be interrupted by someone coming on stage, and that person never came on stage. So we have to like back and forth improvise a conversation
to get yourself off stage.
We were kind of stuck there until the person came out to continue the scene, and they did eventually, but it's that moment of like, just put me out of my fucking misery.
And then when they come in, you can painfully tell that now all the lines are now lines.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because when it goes to the improv,
it's totally,
we were teenagers
for sure.
Anyway, that was a really fun pre-tape. After that, coming up, because we do that now, Freddie Laker announces economy bus service to Miami and more, coming up on Weekend Update. Freddie Laker Airlines, was that a name that means anything to you?
I did not look this one up.
Okay.
These promos they're pissing me off. So
They should pick a really great joke for these.
Yeah,
and instead they're like
real terrible throwaway ones.
like bottom barrel. Weekend Update. The Weekend Update news team of Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin welcomes the new NBC president. We got a little bit of talk about him.
It's Fred Silverman.
Okay.
From 1937 to 2020. That's when he lived. He was an American television executive producer. He worked as an executive at all of the big three television networks and was responsible for bringing television such as Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Huh? The original incarnation of Scooby-Doo. All in the Family, The Waltons, and Charlie's Angels, as well as the miniseries Rich Man, Poor Man, Roots, ever heard of it? And Shogun. For his success in programming such shows, Time magazine declared him the man with the golden gut in 1977.
Is there a joke in this when they're talking about him and they're like, we wish him the best of luck? Is there like a wink of like, we hate this guy going on here?
So
it's like they're held under gunpoint to say something nice about the new president.
In here, I didn't see the show that they then referenced right after this because they said, I'm Laverne Curtin.
Oh, yeah,
and then
I'm Laverne Curtin and I'm Shirley Ackroyd.
Yeah, so I think that there was some sort of
into it?
Maybe some sort of reference to his work at ABC. I don't know. What fucking network was that on? I have no idea.
I don't know. It's not been on Saturday nights, so we have no way of knowing.
Whose job is it to look that up? This is not our podcast.
Yeah, we didn't ask to do this.
Yeah.
We just showed up in purgatory and they make us record this every week. Okay, so we got some stories, the top stories this week, a lot about the big snow, but especially its effect on the new FBI director. This joke, they were talking kind of like the FBI was part of this like racist secret brotherhood, this director guy, and he's refusing to comment on it. But during the snowstorm, he's using like FBI agents to do housework and shovel snow for him and stuff.
Kind of
a slavery joke.
Kind of a weird,
perhaps?
convoluted joke, perhaps. Yes. I don't know.
We got Larry Flint's New Religion. He is the Hustler publisher. He's bringing in, what was the guy's name?
Yul Brynner.
No, not Yul Brynner. That's the next joke before that. Because Oral Roberts is like a religious guy, and because he's helping out Hustler, he's going to change his name to Oral Sex. It's an oral sex joke.
Oral Roberts has his own university, by the way.
Oral Roberts University.
Yeah,
University.
It's Oral Roberts University. I think it's in Oklahoma.
Okay. After that, this is what you were talking about.
Yes.
The Israeli foreign minister is going to stand in for Yul Brynner on Broadway in The King and I.
Yes, Yul Brynner was a Russian-American actor. He was known for his portrayal of King Mongkut in the Rodgers and Hammerstein stage musical The King and I, 1951. He won 2 Tony Awards for this and later an Academy Award for Best Actor for the 1956 film adaptation. He played the role 4,625 times on stage and became known for his shaved head, which he maintained as a personal trademark long after adopting it for The King and I.
4,000 performances in Broadway years. That's like 6 months. That's crazy.
Wow.
Not really. That's an insane number. That's got to be 5+ years of playing this role. And imagine being in a show that's the same every night and having to do it again and again and give just as good of a performance and breathe new light into it.
And speaking from the game show perspective, these type of things, like, your job is to make it seem to that audience like you have never performed
happening
before.
For the first time.
This is exactly the first time I've
or
done
at least the jokes that I'm telling or the elements of this game we're playing right now are unique.
It's not supposed to sound rehearsed or like you do it every 2 hours. I just think it would be tough to do that 4,625 times.
Anything.
Yeah.
What do we got after that? The King of Saudi Arabia and the Emir of Kuwait are demonstrating solidarity against Egypt's peace moves by epoxying their beards together.
It's a picture joke.
Looks like they're about to kiss each other.
It does.
I was curious what the context of the picture actually was.
Well, they glue their beards together.
And that is the context.
It is.
And they're going to unglue themselves whenever something happens with Egypt or if they run out of mouthwash, whichever comes first. The beloved MGM lion is picked up on a drunken disorderly charge. This is a pretty funny joke.
It is. It's a picture joke.
Of a passed out lion.
Yes.
What just happened?
Nothing.
Okay. What was going on here? He's mad, or he's drunk and disorderly because he's still mourning the long ago loss of the actor who played the Cowardly Lion in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh,
that's who Burt Lahr is. I know.
Nice.
Must have been tough. We're going to take a look at the record of Jimmy Carter's first year of president.
Yep.
And it's a list of things that people are critical about Jimmy Carter for. And today, comparatively, it is such small potatoes. It's all like family drama and unrelated to the presidency family drama.
Yeah, these days we have a CVS receipt or two.
Or two.
They're very long receipts.
Yeah, exactly. And even in this one, I thought it was kind of cruel that they make a joke about his formerly incarcerated nanny. Okay. Which when he was running for president was like used as, look at how nice this guy is. He gives people second chances. They even like spoke fondly of that on Saturday Night Live. And now a year later, when we're not like in love with everything he's done as president, the way that we could just twist the exact same thing into part of our list of why maybe we don't like everything he's done. It kind of struck me wrong.
We're terrible people.
We are terrible, terrible people. After that, Franya Tai Lee has her severed arm reattached in emergency surgery.
I like this picture joke.
Yeah. There's a lot of context to the story they're referencing, but it's just for a picture that makes it look like a hand going in opposite direction. Out of frame is her reattached severed arm.
They put it on backwards with her hand at the shoulder joint. That's pretty great.
And then we end this string with a joke that I thought was pretty lame, fell pretty flat, that Buick is recalling 12,000 cars for bedspread issues.
It's a picture joke of a car in a junkyard that's got a mattress coming out of the front of it.
Or mattress or something.
It's weird.
It's a weird picture joke.
Not a strong weekend update so far.
There are a couple okay jokes. What is next, though?
But then, weekend update correspondent Rosanna Dana is here to ramble on topics from lack of heat to disgusting food.
And did you ever eat roast beef that had a rainbow on it? You know what I mean? It's blue. How did they get that color? Did someone leave the beef out in the rain? You know what else I ate? Soft-boiled eggs. There's that gooky part that goes up and down and up and down. You can't keep it on the spoon. It falls off your spoon. It goes onto the plate. Then it goes on your spoon. Then it's back on the plate again. Then it goes on your spoon again. Then it goes onto the floor. So you got to wipe it up and eat it off a towel. And let me ask you this. Did you ever...
Roseanne?
What do you want?
You're making me sick.
What do you mean?
You're making me nauseous with all this talk about food and hair. What has this got to do about a guy with no heat?
Well, Jen, it all goes to show you that it's always something.
This is a big one.
This is a big one.
This, more than the Christmas episode, cements for me that maybe we're moving past Emily Latella.
A little bit.
Because here she is with a new character.
Yep.
That also has a little bit of a Jane interrupts her dynamic.
Have you also noticed that we haven't seen the dancing end since we revealed it was Emily?
That was the episode right before this. This is the first episode since that.
So I'm technically correct.
You're correct, but
Have
no.
you noticed it?
No, I had not noticed it.
Okay.
Rosanna Dana.
Yeah.
What did you think about? I mean, she showed up in a sketch.
She did.
This is her first time in full force as a correspondent. Is her thing always that she's there to talk about a topic, but then she just kind of rambles about problems in her life instead?
I think maybe.
And brings it back with the phrase at the end.
Because she's based on a specific person. So.
You've told this before. Do you remember off the top of your head?
I don't, but I will for the next time she's a correspondent.
What did you think about this first tryout? Did it make you laugh?
I like Roseanne. The accent is, it's slightly problematic, but it's whatever. It's like I said, it's based on a specific person.
I'm not willing to condone it, but for the interest of the project we're doing here, I will have to look the other way and find the joy in the character anyway, because I'm sure there's plenty there to be found.
I love the way she rambles. I love her stream of consciousness that she cannot stay on one topic. And then because it's a Gilda character, it's going to be going to food.
Oh, yeah.
And that's funny to me. So, and yeah, Jane is always hostile toward all the female correspondents.
Just Gilda.
Yeah.
Whenever it's Gilda. Her stuff about food. First, she talks about hair and soup. And wasn't hair and food her joke when she was in a sketch last time? Was that what it was? Was it like hire the incompetent or something? Am I right?
I remember the hire the incompetent for sure.
She talks about finding hard things in hamburgers. I feel like that doesn't happen that much anymore.
Happened to me this weekend.
Did you make the hamburgers just from ground beef, or did you get them somewhere?
We got them somewhere, but I made them on a grill.
So it was just like the ground beef had
could have been a gristle.
Something in it.
Could have been a gristle.
They can make good decaf coffee, but no burgers without toenails. That was a funny line. The weird breading piece of chicken. That is kind of a boomer joke, but you're like, oh yeah, there is that.
Absolutely.
I swear there was a bone in it, but no chicken and bread. Like, what the fuck did I just eat?
It's a weird thing.
She kind of lost me with rainbow roast beef. Is that a thing? Blue in your roast beef?
Boy, that would scare me.
If I saw blue in my roast beef, I would not be eating.
I would not be eating anything blue.
And then I don't think I've ever had a soft-boiled egg. Have you ever had a soft-boiled egg? When Jane cuts her off, I was ready to be like, different character, same bit.
Sure.
But something about Jane's queasiness and like, I need you to stop because you're making me sick talking about all this shit.
Right.
That was pretty funny.
Well, yeah. Yeah, the whole thing was pretty good.
Yeah.
Her little story about when she goes to sleep and her dad tells her
Back
what's
in the
going on.
day.
Yeah.
Rambling phrases.
She just throws out colloquialism after colloquialism. So
Cry over spilt milk. Jane is mouthing all of them with her.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where if this was real life, I don't think you would be able to mouth these along with her from the beginning of the quote. I thought too hard about it. That's okay. She and then Roseanne like kind of asks Jane out on a date. Like, do you want to go out for dinner?
Yeah, and then Dan accepts.
And she's like, okay, I guess. Do you think this is like some queer quoting here? Do you think that Rosanna Dana is a queer character?
Man, I remember the research that we did on her, but none of that ever came up.
Okay, her sexuality never came up.
Why do people focus on these things?
I don't know. It's who we are. After that, ladies and gentlemen, Randy Newman and the Dirt Band perform Short People. One of Randy Newman's most recognizable and successful songs You've Got a Friend in Me, for sure. Our second musical guest is Randy Newman, 34 years old, singer-songwriter, pianist, composer, arranger, not a magician, from Los Angeles, California. This is his second time as musical guest on SNL, which feels like too few, but it's because he additionally appeared in the Live from Mardi Gras special, which is not technically an episode of the show.
No, but he was the most of the music in that show.
Today, Randy is 82 years old, and in this performance, he and members of the Dirt Band, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yeah, it was them.
I second-guessed myself
No,
for a second.
it was definitely them.
He and members of the Dirt Band performed the song Short People, which is from his 1977 album Little Criminals, which has lyrics that are demeaning to short people, but the song was intended by Randy to be a satire about prejudice more broadly, and I think listening to the song, that's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Because short people is just such a random thing to be against. In the way that he writes about it in the song. I don't know.
And I think one important thing about short people as a choice to use as satire for a more broad statement on racism is that it's something they can't fucking help. It's something they can't do anything about. And they didn't want it this way. Like, it was handed to them.
They're just short.
Yeah. It's like, and it's kind of like a little bit of the point. Like, why would you judge someone for something they have no control over?
And this is common for Randy. He had other songs like Rednecks where he would sing and speak from the perspective of a prejudiced person, but the goal is to point a light on how stupid the prejudice is.
Yeah.
However, like when I've done research for him on the past for this show, he had songs of that ilk where he was dropping the N-word, and then you get into tricky, like the blackface conversation.
Yeah,
like I get your point, but please don't say that word anyway.
I understand you're trying to make a statement, and that's great, but like, you don't need to use that word to do it. Finally, though, a fucking good song from Randy Newman. God damn it.
I would say a great song. I think this is a great song.
Okay, well, I'm not going to go that far with Randy Newman. But
I know you won't.
Short people got nobody. Short people got nobody. Short people got nobody to love. They got no baby legs, they stand so low. You got to pick them up just to say hello. They got little cars that go beep, beep, beep. They got little voices going beep, beep, beep. They got grubby little fingers and dirty little minds. They're gonna get you every time. Well, I don't want no short people. Don't want no short people. Don't want no short people right here.
it's good enough for him. Like, it's a good song, and it was fun to listen to, and I loved the Dirt Band kicked in to be the backing vocals for this. They did a great job. Getting down on their knees for the second chorus was super funny, and I loved it.
Super funny. The piano chords, like, easily ingrained in your head. The guitar compliments to the song. Like, it's It's one of those songs that feels like it's always existed, and it just like feels just right in your head. You're
This
like,
was the first time I'd ever heard
I've
it.
heard the song 100,000 times. That surprises me.
I've never heard this song until I saw this. So I've heard the song twice exactly.
Okay, I would say outside of his like Toy Story Pixar stuff, this is probably his biggest hit, other than maybe like I Love LA. Do you know that song?
I don't know either. I don't care about Randy Newman.
That's fair.
I like the way that he addressed the controversy surrounding the song before starting the next track.
Yeah, he would tell us about it.
Well, yeah, he says, I've taken a lot of flack for that song in the media and in the news. People have been real upset about it, and he just wants to address it, and he hasn't said anything about it till now, but he wants to say something here, and to all the people that he's offended.
Listening to the song, I can both hear why people would take knee-jerk offense to it.
Because if you take the lyrics literally without fucking thinking about it.
And I can also hear why Randy is like, you guys are so stupid.
Are we listening to the same song? Are you dumb?
I get both sides of it, which I think is the point of this song and why it's successful on top of being so super catchy.
It's catchy.
Man, I like it. After that,
Randy Newman and the Dirt Band perform Rider in the Rain. Our musical guests remain on stage to perform the song Rider in the Rain from Randy Newman's 1977 album Little Criminals.
And he, after explaining the controversy, introduces this song that I didn't deep dive what the lyrics were or what it was about as a song that will only offend real cowboys.
Got a gun in my holster. Got a horse between my knees. And I'm going to Arizona. Pardon me, boys, if you please. I have been a desperado. Raped and pillaged across the plain. Now I'm going to Arizona. Be a rider in the rain.
He's a rider in the rain. He's a rider in the rain.
And I'm going to Arizona. A rider in the rain.
This is the boring ass Randy Newman shit we're used to.
This was a good song. I like this song.
Boring.
I can see why you'd say boring. It's not as fun and upbeat as the last one.
The
not as
Dirt Band
thought-provoking.
was fun in this one. Like, it was fun to listen to them.
And I don't think it's one of them, but there's a slide steel guitar that I'm hearing in the
Yeah,
background
God,
that's very
killed it.
fitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this sounded lovely. The backing vocals, great. The drum beat had this nice like horse trotting kind of thing going on. Then the song gets to, and I don't hate this. I like this performance, but it's the second song in a row. So when I think it's closing down and like ending, then Randy Newman says, "Take it, boys," and we do a whole other like instrumental thing that ends on a jam that is too long for the show.
Yeah.
So they fade out over applause. It's fun. I'm sure it was fun in the studio if you were like having a good time listening to this, but it adds to my theory of maybe they didn't have that much rehearsal this week. Maybe they did cut something, or maybe they called up Randy and was like, "Hey, your song's really popular. Do you want to come collaborate with the Dirt Band?" I don't know.
When you don't have a lot of rehearsal and you need to fill some time, I think letting talented musicians just do their thing, probably a good call.
Do you have anything else on Randy Newman before we move on?
I don't. Can I do one more?
One more sketch?
In a row.
Wait.
I did the last two. Can I do one more?
Wait. So, yes.
Next, we get a live sketch. It's survey battles.
No, it's not. But we are in game show battle room, so yes, it is. We're not allowed to say the game show that. Oh my God.
You see what I just did there?
I'll say it.
Okay.
I'm not scared. Family Feud. It's Family Feud. The sketch is Family Feud. But before we even get to that, Coneheads is a 1993 American science fiction comedy film released by Paramount Pictures. It is produced by Lorne Michaels, directed by Steve Barron, and stars Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin, and Michael Burke. The film is based on the Saturday Night Live comedy sketches about aliens stranded on Earth, and it is a film that I have fucking seen now.
What? You watched it?
I watched it.
Yeah!
The movie, which I liked a lot, took a while to grab me. I'll be honest, the first 20, 30 minutes, I was kind of prepared to be a little disappointed by it.
Okay.
But around the time the family went full suburbia, the laughs came more quickly,
Yeah.
and I was in for the rest of the ride.
Yeah, man.
The movie doesn't exactly capture the lightning in a bottle that, for me, makes the Coneheads probably one of my all-time favorite recurring sketches.
Yeah.
But the movie kind of has its own vibe. It's super 90s, and occasionally it super successfully and satisfyingly references the lore from the 70s that I thought was really fun. I still think we should save the deepest of Conehead's 1993 dives to when the film came out in 1993. But the other point I'll make now, it was very interesting seeing a movie that reunites a lot of the 70s cast 20 years later.
Yes.
And getting a flash forward of then current, soon to be and past SNL cast members in the 90s, seeing all of these people show up. It made every scene kind of exciting because, like, who's going to show up?
Almost like the reason I kept telling you to watch it.
Okay, shut up. Let me finish. I did it. Okay, I did it. Lorraine should have been in the movie a lot more.
Lorraine should have been in the movie a lot more. Michelle Burke is okay.
It's nothing against. I get why they recast.
I like her as Connie, but watching the sketches version of Connie,
ooh baby,
God, she's so horny. It's so funny, and she's so much more confident than the Rachel Burke Connie, like, who feels kind of like that accessible girl next door, but like also kind of innocent and like naive about stuff. But like Connie knows everything. Connie's the 16-year-old girl who's like, fuck yeah, she knows way more than her parents do.
But for this to be a movie that like is about silly aliens, but has like movie qualities, it had to be like, I guess, quote unquote, realistic.
Sure.
Every time I see Chris Farley, it makes me sad because his character is so sweet in that movie. And I think that bodes poorly for when we get to his era of the show. I'm almost done. There's a really funny scene where Beldar and Primit are in bed together, and Beldar is explaining how if Primit died before he does, that he would like shrivel up in a ball and die a miserable, awful death. And Primit's like, that makes me happy. And Beldar smiles like, I know. That was just such a cute couple moment.
But dude, before that, he cracked a joke at her. He said, I would probably be sad for a while and then I would remarry. And then she says, really? And he said, no.
Yeah. It would be the worst thing that ever happened to me. There's also a hilarious scene where the new Connie Conehead eats a CGI Subway sandwich in one bite to impress Chris Farley. And it might be one of my new favorite product placement moments in a movie. The way the regular sandwich becomes cartoon for her to eat it. Anyway, that's it on Conehead's 1993. Get out of here. I mean it.
I love that you did that. Thank you so much. Especially since I blew you off twice this week. You used the extra time to watch the Coneheads movie.
Talk to us about Family Feud.
Well, Richard Dawson, played by Bill Murray, hosts a game of survey battles with the romaine lettuce obsessed Mel's family facing off against the Coneheads.
Oh, was that wrong?
Yeah.
That's a wiki thing.
That's okay. This was a pretty fun sketch. It was all in all pretty okay Conehead sketch for sure. It's a good reveal that it's a Conehead sketch because you don't see it coming.
I think it's a great Family Feud sketch. I think Bill is really fun as Richard Dawson.
Kissing all the ladies.
I think the alternate family is weird and interesting enough to make it more than just a Conehead sketch.
Yeah.
And then you're right, the reveal is hilarious because you expect it just to be a Family Feud sketch. And I think this is a really great Beldar sketch for sure. Dan is awesome in this. And
what's funny is something was going on with his prosthetic thing that was affecting his face and like the reactions he could do.
It's very flat and straight.
I think those eyebrows were painted on that prosthetic. I don't think those were his eyebrows. Like, I think that all the facial expressions he was making were underneath that thing.
Usually Coneheads is the first sketch of the night. 20 minutes ago, Jane and Dan were both doing Weekend Update. So that's pretty impressive.
It is.
And a sketch right after this, like Lorraine's back into a pretty costume.
I love whatever Bill and Belushi are doing here. He's like pinching his cheek and he's slapping him in the
really
face.
Mean to the kid.
Yeah, but like, I'm not talking even about the characters. I'm talking about Bill and Belushi.
They're like locked in on something weird.
They're fucking with each other during the sketch and it's fun.
Slapping.
It's very physical version of what Jost and Shay do to each other verbally.
I know that with some of these men in the early eras, there was some fighting, roughhousing that happened.
Right.
I hope and I think that John Belushi was like, you should really smack me.
Yeah, I think that
because you hear the smack. Yeah. I think he was like, you should really smack me in the face. And him being this angry game show host was really fun. Bill being...
Because in the beginning of the show, remember the cold open, they were in the background and they were doing the odds evens.
Yeah.
And then if they lost, they would hit the other one. And then... So it like they've been doing this the whole episode, and I think it's a very it's a physical version of what Jost and Shay do each other all the time.
It's a good observation.
Yeah.
I thought this was funny. There was a really awkward moment with the romaine lettuce thing when he's like, oh, I won't come over for dinner, but I'll send my rabbit. Oh, we have a rabbit.
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah. Moving right over it.
Yeah. I love the Coneheads' reaction to the buzzer sound.
Even when it's not happening to them. Even when the other team got something wrong, they do it. So it's funny to have Bill Murray kiss the wives.
Yeah.
Then he French kisses Connie Conehead,
16 years old,
who immediately after that says, "I'm 16."
Oh baby, oh baby, oh baby.
So that's something. So Richard Dawson on SNL is a sex criminal. That's
also,
bad.
Hearing Connie say "the big one" was so satisfying to me.
Name something people bite.
Because
the big one.
As soon as he went to Connie, in my mind for that second delay, I was like, "She's gonna say the big one," and she did.
Oh,
and I was like, "That is
I
so
figured it
fucking
out.
funny." Yeah, like, Connie's fucking great.
All right, Connie, something that people like to bite.
The big one.
Bite the big one. All right, does our audience bite the big one? Well, we all want to know that one. We're going to find out right now. Show me the big one. All right. All right. You're really rolling now, Coneheads. Now it's up to you, Beldar. What else do people like to bite?
A trapeze.
Just out of curiosity, Beldar, are you circus folk?
Lemgar, Karnyan, Them, Mepdeps.
Well, I had to ask, all right. Show me trapeze.
Beldar gets very close when it's his turn to come up and face off against Steve.
That's what they do.
And the way, and it might be because he's stiffer than usual.
Well, they don't have the same personal space as humans do.
I love that. Yeah, they get so close. But here, I think how stiff he is when he puts his hand up to do the buzzer, it might be because of the prosthetics, but it kind of made his whole protoid capsules. It's so fucking nerdy.
Yeah.
It's so funny. It's like early Conan O'Brien adjacent, a protoid caps. I can hear that in his voice.
Yeah.
It makes me laugh every time. Primit guessing sandwiches, but saying it the Conehead way and getting it right. The Always Sunny episode where they go on Family Fight is one of the great episodes,
It's
one
a
of the great like later era episodes of that show.
Awesome episode of that
and
show.
I think they stole some jokes from this.
I hope so.
Because, well, first,
one person saying romaine lettuce was something.
Yeah, so I was expecting it to lead to the Charlie thing.
Yeah.
Milk steak, show me.
Yeah.
And then I was expecting
a dragon.
And then the buzzer. Dennis, like the buzzer's too loud. And the Conan's like, whether it's on purpose or not, whether it's like a Dua Lipa having a song way in the back of my head.
I think it would be like McElhaney to try to tribute something like that.
Sure.
That's
Let's see. What are some other things going on here? Chicken neck. Oh, yeah. When the other family.
It's going to be chicken neck.
The dad's like, shut up. Shut up. We've decided it's going to be chicken neck.
Yes.
That was really fun. And then it's wrong.
And that same voice and that same aura, I will say, that Belushi uses to say that reminds me of the kid that he played in the sketch when Dan had the mask on.
Oh, yeah. Professor X.
Yeah. It was
family counselor.
Where'd you get that arm? Like, it's so funny.
Some of that.
It's chicken
Some
neck.
of that mask.
It's got to be chicken neck.
How do you eat?
It's just funny.
The Coneheads come together in a moment and they all touch their heads when they win. And
That's kind of sexual.
And in the movie, they actually find a way to make when they do the cone touch, like kind of sweet. There's like a mother-daughter moment where it's like, there's a really sweet moment when they don't say I love you to each other really, but Jane says something like, the affection your parental unit feels for you goes beyond, like just such a nice
She says
moment.
something, if anything ever happened to you, my life function would cease.
Yeah. And I wish they would have had just once in the movie the boo. But in the movie, when they touch cones, it's sweet. It's
like lights up though. There's like a little effect for it.
Anyway,
it's cool.
One last thing, when Beldar comes up for fast money, all of his fast answers are so great. First saying, proceed, human, proceed. And Richard Dawson making the joke about whatever comes to your head will probably be like a low-flying plane would be the first thing.
That's a good one.
Stuff like the Moons of Meebzor, Zythron the Insistent, a Muldroth Ironfield, and then my favorite, name a form of transportation, the foam shoe.
The foam shoe.
And it was something you eat with eggs, fiberglass. That's it.
Just in time.
They still win. I don't think it... I want to have this one more conversation. Why do the Coneheads work every time? And it's a differing quality, but every time. And sometimes the same jokes work every time. But when the Festrunk brothers came back this week, that one worked for me the first time. Not as much as the Coneheads ever did. But what makes the Coneheads so easy to return to and their catchphrases feel so character driven that when they say it, you believe it versus the Fast Drunk Brothers who are like,
well, the Coneheads don't have like repeat catchphrases, do they? Besides, they have like
phrases,
master
themes.
gestures, but these are more things that are like character attributes that you can give someone because that's part of like their culture and lore. Like if they leaned into the Fast Drunk Brothers being more like the Czechoslovakian things besides the broken English. And
that is a good way of saying it because the things that are interesting about the Fast Drunk Brothers is like their backstory and how they like fled a boat. And same with the ladies in the sketch, how they like swam from Maine for 2 weeks. That is like you've built lore for these characters that you start to think that these stupid caricatures are like people that have done things.
Right.
The Coneheads, every single thing they say, every single new piece of gibberish is legitimate lore, which makes that, I agree with you.
The Fast Drunk Brothers broken English is supposed to be like, it does kind of feel a little down punchy
sometimes. But they're like trying to they're like womanizers.
Right.
You know?
Whereas the Coneheads, it feels like world building. And what they're doing, like, well, clearly they're making fun of aliens. Who can be offended by that? Like, there's no fucking aliens to be offended by that, so...
And that brings me back to the movie. The movie is a more clever than it should be conversation on
illegal aliens
and people who immigrated to this country.
Yeah.
I also think Fast Drunk Brothers and Coneheads both can be great. Like Dan Aykroyd self-identifies as autistic, and I think autistic tendencies are very clear in both of those characters. Like not quite fitting in, not quite getting things just right.
Right.
I thought this sketch was great, and I'm not willing to say I was wrong. Because
that's okay. I'll say it.
I'm not willing to say I was wrong because I do think it would have been fun to be fresh when we talk about it.
Sure.
However, I do like the idea of you not being able to bring it up every time whenever we get a Conehead sketch now. And when we do get to the movie 3, 4, 5, 6, 100 years from now, I'll be excited to return to it.
Yeah, because just now you did all this stuff about the Coneheads, and we were talking about things Rosanna Dana I did a deep dive on a few episodes ago, and we already can't really remember it. So, like, if we do a deep dive on that in 93, that's going to be fine.
I think I'll remember it. I think it'll stick with me. It was a good movie. After starting it kind of half in, by the end of it, I went from like, this is a 3-star movie, this is a 3.5-star movie, maybe a 4-star movie in my like fanboy heart. It was fun.
There's a lot of good fan service, but will still be a good movie.
That was a lot on the Coneheads. That was a lot on survey battles.
I'm glad that you watched it because if you didn't watch it, I was going to make you.
I know.
Narfall the Garvac.
I know. I did it so you would shut up. I did it so you would shut up.
You just didn't want to Narfall the Garthak.
No.
Well, what's next?
A live sketch called What If? This week's episode of the panel show What If involves a simulation of Napoleon Bonaparte, played by John Belushi, being armed with a B-52.
This was a 10-1. That was a 1 out of 10. I prefer Marvel's What If.
I think this was pretty half-baked.
This was pretty rough.
John as Napoleon is kind of inspired because Napoleon was like short and rotund, schlubby, and angry.
Average height, by the way.
Whatever.
For the time.
I don't want to hear any more about short people. That's a decent bit. And even this idea, there's something here, like these panel shows that all get together to argue about a thing, kind of like us, that no matter what you say, it's not going to change what happened. We're just like throwing random hypotheticals to content churn. There's something funny about that when they get a letter that's like, hey, your story was stupid because none of that would have ever happened. And they're like, shut up. That's the point. We're going to talk about all of this stupid stuff. However, watching the sketch was like sleepy, boring. There's that really long B-roll of plane footage while they change sets to that like section of the control room that they really like to use. With the radar thing.
That's way too big to be in a plane.
And they're pointing at things that are like audio and video cables and being like, this activates all of the missiles. There's a little bit of inspiration here, but I don't think it came together as a sketch.
Yeah.
And I was glad when it was over.
I didn't have a lot to say about this or the next thing. So
I like one line when Napoleon's trying to wax poetic and he's like, well, if we fail, we lose. If we succeed, we win. Let's bolt. Just like trying to say, yeah,
of course.
If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose.
Just because you say it slow doesn't make it profound.
Okay, this was a dumb sketch. It was an okay setup. But who do you think would win if God and Superman got in a fight?
I think the Easter Bunny would take him down.
Yeah. I mean, it's all fictional characters. So,
well, next it's a bumper. a woman in the crowd is hyperventilating.
I would be too if the camera was pointed at me right there. I would be too.
Sure.
And then?
It's a pre-tape. It's a film by Gary Weiss. A drive around Beverly Hills. Steve Martin tours the Hollywood homes of his, quote, close and personal friends in a film by Gary Weiss.
This is an okay idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's about as long as it needs to be. It has one or two laughs that are buoyed by the personality of Steve Martin, like any of the okay Gary Weiss films are.
Sure.
There's something really funny to me because he's like following a map of the stars' homes and acting at each home like he knows the person and then just shouting their name from outside of their house.
Right.
And it's the same joke over and over again. But there's something really funny about the way when he's at the McDonald's guy, Ray Kroc's house, and he's like, this guy's so distinguished, so fancy. Hey, Kroc! Hey, Kroc! Come here. There's something just funny about the way that he delivers all of those, and that he's so committed to it.
Standing in front of Mr. Kroc's house. He's a wonderful man, owner of McDonald's and the San Diego Padres, and I know him pretty well. He's a very, very dapper man. He's very dignified. He collects art. He's a real connoisseur and a good friend of mine. Hey, Kroc! Hey, Kroc! Hey, come on out!
Because kind of no matter who you are, when you see guys of that stature, they like almost like insist on being called Mr. Kroc, or like they don't let, like in my lifetime, if I ever meet someone who's like, do not address me by my first name, like I will either physically strike that person or I will never be in a room with that person ever again.
I'm sure you get that a lot in golf.
If you have your head up your own ass to the point where you don't think your first name is how people should talk to you, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't care what you've done. Nothing's worth. We all have first names for a reason.
Do you ever address people as Mr. And you only take umbrage if someone like demands it?
Like, I mean, I
guess when you had like teachers.
I don't really. Yeah, I mean, like I didn't like go up to my teacher and was like, "What's up, Troy?" You
or
know,
like if you met Lorne Michaels,
I wouldn't be like, I would call him Mr. Michaels, but that would be out of reverence, and he would be someone I'm sure who, and I think he is the type of person who I'm actually referring to, who would be like, please address me as Mr. Michaels and not Lorne. I don't dig on that. Like, we all have first names. Everyone has a first name. That's what it's for. It's for being called by that. Go fuck yourself.
Oh, but he would say, call me Mr. Michaels, but yet he will only say Paul. Maybe he'd be fine with Lorne.
Perhaps.
I don't know. I see your point. What are we talking about?
We're talking about a man in the crowd who is allergic to comedy. We were actually talking about Gary Weiss.
Did you think one of the celebrities, I thought when he was talking about Carl Reiner, maybe Carl Reiner would actually show up. I thought one of the celebrities was actually going to come out and be a part of it.
That would be like a nice change to the video. It would have been like a nice spicy part of the joke.
But these are probably just like they're shot on the street in 10 minutes because they have a little time. They're not doing that kind of planning for these.
Right.
After that, a bumper, a man in the crowd is allergic to comedy.
Yeah.
Never zoom in on the guy. They're always obnoxious.
Yep.
I don't also love like the camera always choosing women and always like focusing on women.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, they know how to behave when a camera's on their face. And 9 times out of 10, the men do not.
Okay, quote, know how to behave. You mean be super shy and try to lean into the person next to them, or like smile and look away? I don't think that's knowing how to behave. I think that's being fucking weak.
Maybe not knowing how to behave, but like, same for me. Like, I feel like a safe person at the front of a comedy show because if you, the comedian, like makes a joke at my expense, I'm going to laugh and participate in the way I'm expected to, but I'm not going to try to coerce that moment and make it about me. And now it's my show and I'm a part of it.
So I will address what you just said when we're done with the podcast because I have a juicy one for you from.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm happy to participate. If you put the camera on me, I'll smile and wave, but I'm not going to be like, it's me. I'm the guy doing the Steve Martin moves.
So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the Dirt Band and Steve Martin perform White Russia.
It's like the Eminem song, White America.
No, it's like, dude, White Russian.
White Russian. You ever drank a White Russian?
Dude.
Pretty sweet. You know, it's like a Clue and cream, right?
Yeah, I'm not into creamy stuff, but I am into the Big Lebowski. The musical guest returns to the stage to perform White Russia from their 1978 album, The Dirt Band, with the help of Steve Martin on the banjo. This was unbelievable.
Oh yeah,
This was awesome.
the musicianship.
This was fucking crazy.
They are so fucking good at their instruments, every single one of them, that Steve Martin, who even in the 70s was an incredible banjo player comparatively to the average man, where it looks like he's just kind of plunking around and playing
looks
chords
basic here.
which is fine because he's here to be a part of the group with his friends. That's not a judgment on him. That's just how good this crew of musicians are.
So in my days as a tour manager, there was a band that I was on tour with because our band was touring with them, but then they offered me to be on a couple of shows with them for another tour. Good dudes. Their name's Everybody Else. There was a guy named Mikey. I think I might have told the story once or twice on the pod, but like Mikey as a drummer.
Is it a band I would have heard of?
The first time they had a couple of commercial songs or something.
That kind of sounds familiar.
They had Mikey would be on the drums. The first time I ever saw this guy was at the Whiskey A Go Go. He was playing drums with one hand, playing keys with the other, and singing harmonies with a stick in his mouth. Fucking insane. Like, I loved it. And then I'm watching this performance of the Dirt Band, and there's a dude
playing two recorders.
He played an entire wind section by himself, bro. He started with the saxophone.
Yeah.
Then he went to the bassoon.
Yeah.
Then he's got dual wielding recorders that he's playing simultaneously.
Okay.
Like, what the fuck more do you want from this guy? He's carrying the whole team.
And then the clarinet section as well. The clarinet
my
was
God.
great. You were listing instruments that in the wrong hands, in the wrong song,
Yeah.
you'd be annoyed with the saxophone solo, and you would definitely be annoyed with the recorder solo.
For sure.
But with
in this context, it's incredible.
Lil and I lost our shit when they cut to that guy and he had
Yeah.
two things in his mouth
Yeah.
and he's harmonizing two instruments together at the same time. Holy fucking
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
While these guys are shredding the banjo, and fucking the harmonica dude is cunting his hips around like a son of a bitch.
I love that the phrase is sticking. The clarinet section, and when they start kind of in the back, it's like when it gets a little jauntier and the people in the background go, opa, opa. It's so fun. It's an instrumental that goes a lot of different places and hits a lot of genres and hits a lot of sounds. It's just a fun jam.
There's no lyrics in here, but you swear to God you would hear it if you walked into a bar on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Like-
Oh, yeah. Like a cantina band for
For
sure.
sure.
And Steve being here to play is a nice way to end the episode.
It's cool.
Yeah. Anything else?
I don't have anything. That was awesome.
Host portrait. Steve Martin's leaning in. He wants to hear all about it. He's got his hand to his ear. Always his ear to the ground. That's Steve Martin. And then we're going to go into the goodnights, which were a pretty basic goodnights. There wasn't a lot of time, so Steve doesn't say much. He's just like, he says, that's our comedy gags. Good night, mentions the band, and the people hang out. Did you have any I know you don't. Do you have any takeaways from the goodnights?
That was their comedy gags.
The thing I noticed from the goodnights, a good thing, a cute thing, Dan and John are having a really nice friendship moment, and that friendship between the two of them is so iconic. And they just hug each other. They're just like celebrating together. It was really wholesome and cute to see. John throws his apple into the crowd that he's eating. Someone catches it. Lorraine is like drying her hair, and I was a little confused by that. She's got a towel over her head, and she's like rubbing her hair off the rest of the time. Maybe there's some like adhesive in her hair from the Conehead sketch, but then she was in the What If sketch as well.
Who was doing this?
Lorraine.
Okay.
She was Napoleon's partner in the What If sketch. What do you think? Why do we belong to Don Pardo if it's snowing? That's his line at the end. He's like, if it's snowing, remember you belong to me, or something like that. Button up your overcoat.
I think that you are on a fool's errand trying to make sense of everything Don Pardo says. It's like people trying to ask me, like, why did you respond to this message with this emoji? Like, dude, stop. Like,
no, it's okay to not have an answer, but asking the questions, I mean, what else am I going to do?
Sure.
You know, what else are we here for?
Sure.
That is the end of the episode.
It is.
Are we positive on this one?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know about you. I don't know what your problem is. I'm way positive on this one.
You think I have a problem?
I've got a host who's a thumbs up.
Oh, I have a host who is a thumbs up. Yes.
I've got a musical guest who is so up.
I've got two musical guests who are thumbs up. You're going to give Randy Newman a sideways?
I'm going to give him a sideways up.
Gross,
that was, no.
Short People is an awesome song.
Short People is great. The other song I could have completely done without. Best sketch of the night.
It's family. It's going to be the one where the Coneheads go on a game show for me.
Wow. You like looked at the camera. It's
I'm sorry, Tyler.
Body Floss for me.
Yeah, it's quick. It's in and out. It's classic.
Yeah.
Who is the MVP not ready for primetime player? And take your time because I am still deciding. Take your time. You're just going to say one word.
Gilda. But also
because of Roseanne.
Rosanna Rosanna Dana, and the Body Floss she was in there. She had a good night. Honorable mention to Lorraine because Connie is so great.
I am going to deflect to Dan this week. I think Beldar was great in Coneheads, and he holds together because like Steve Martin and some of the sketches, like when he's doing stand up, he's locked in. When he's in sketches, he's kind of just doing bad French accents and like it's just kind of vibes. Dan really holds together what there is to hold together of the Fest Drunk Brothers sketch.
The show.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Dan this week. Park Ranger McConnell, he's good in that one. He's just good in everything. What is the overall episode rating for this week?
Did you just say Dan was great in Park Ranger McConnell?
Is he not the Park Ranger?
Steve is a Park Ranger.
Ooh, you're right. He's not in that sketch.
Weirdo. Overall episode rating for me, 8.25.
It's above an 8.
Yeah.
Tell me why, because there are a couple
This goes to show you how good music can change this show.
Yeah.
And I could the pre-tape from Gary wasn't the worst.
Weekend Update.
Weekend Update was not great.
But it had Roseanne.
But Roseanne
Fest
Dana
Drunk
comes
Brothers.
and saves it. Fest Drunk Brothers I'm not a big fan of, but they're an iconic thing. And I just think that there wasn't like that many bad sketches. And then I think Randy Newman was maybe one of the down things, but like even short people is good.
I think I'm catching myself being too hard on it because of who's in it and expectations and blah, 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 blah. I did put below an 8, and I'm not going to talk myself because an 8 means something. I'm not going to switch up to an 8. I'll give it a 7.7. I was at like a 7.4, 7.75. Fuck it. If you're 2.5, I'll give it a 7.75.
Yeah.
I thought this was a good episode, but next week we got another one to talk about.
We do. It is stand-up comedian and actor Robert Klein returning to the show with musical guest Bonnie Raitt in an episode that originally aired on January 28th, 1978.
I know who both of those people are.
I can't stop my leg.
Robert Klein's hosted before. It's his last time. I'll be interested to see because he was one of the first episodes.
He was one of the, it was like third or fourth. No, third was Rob Reiner. He's fourth. Then
I think
maybe.
Fourth was Candy. 5 was Robert Klein, I think.
Okay.
But he was when the show was finding itself was still very variety show, like lowercase sketch comedy show. So we'll see what happens this time. Bonnie Raitt, one of the greats, a classic. She showed up for the 50th anniversary concert. We'll see what she has. Zach Hall, now that I've seen the Coneheads movie and I was on time today, what are you mad at me for now? Do you have something? Or is that it?
Oh, no.
Did I fix myself?
I got nothing. I'll figure it out.
Well, that's the end of the episode. Who would you like to thank this week?
I'd like to thank you for being so patient because I pushed you off twice. We were supposed to record on Wednesday, then Thursday, then now it's Sunday and it's coming out on Monday. You know, it's been a week for me, and I really just appreciate the flexibility.
I would always rather the vibes be as close to right as possible than to like us recording an hour and a half of like us being unprepared and in a bad mood, and like
stressed out.
That's not good for anybody.
I know.
So but thank you for the thanks. I want to thank you right back. For always making the time, even when there's no time, and always cracking wise with me, even when there's not a lot to laugh about.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. I want to thank Four Finger Discount. I want to thank Lil Shaker. And I want to thank each and every one of the Zachalites who's listening to this podcast every week. You guys mean a lot to us. I'm not going to lie, you're not the reason we do this.
No, it's you. I do it for you.
And I do it just because I want to, for the love.
Nice.
But knowing that there are people who are listening, and not only knowing that, but that the people who are listening are often very intelligent and very well read on what we're talking about, to the point that they are imperative to the show to tell us the stuff that we don't know.
Yes, because
like,
I
thank
cannot
you each
say
and
this
every
enough
one
times.
of you.
We are morons.
Yeah, very, very true.
We need help.
And I want to close out this episode as we close out every episode.
Yep.
With the Zach Hall final words. Wait. Fuck, I got to interrupt your final
No,
words. Social media.
I didn't get them yet. The social media at Sat Night Dive Pod. Email is SaturdayNightDivePod@gmail.com.
That was important. We had to do that.
You're a breaker. Yeah, all this stuff.
It was imperative. Zach Hall.
I agree.
The final words.
It just goes to show you, it's always something. It's a jungle out there. Every dog has its day. You made your bed, now you gotta sleep in it. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. Don't cry over spilled milk. And it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Tomorrow's another day.